little short today. Woo-hoo. Hi. Hi. Welcome back. It's been a long time since I've done one of these. Yeah, I'm not even prepared for this one. Obviously I'm in the root suit, as usual. This is the chopped quilt. I did not video myself making it, but I thought I should at least show you a finished product of what can occur. This was gonna be a really quick sew. Hey, maybe I can get this sucker done in like 2 weeks, and that didn't happen. What took me the longest on this quilt was actually the backing, because it's really scrappy. I ran out of bed sheets, so I did a super scrappy backing, and I didn't plan it out well enough. So when I actually needed the backing to be ready, it wasn't. It's okay. No deadline on this boy. I pieced together the batting because I had a lot left over. And I still have quite a bit, but I'm gonna try and do like some pot holders. If you see some fluffies going across, I just see a whole bunch. It's like poplar fluffies. I didn't take any pictures of this quilt immediately after she was done. Instead, threw it in the washing machine, and then my mom took it to Oma the next day. The pattern is called Chopped. It's again from that Fat Quarter magazine. I've done, well, including this one, I've done 3 quilts out of that singular magazine. I made a mistake when I was cutting my pieces, and that resulted in me having to cut different pieces. I ran out of fabric. I did a miscut. And so instead of altering the rest of the pieces to make the miscuts work, I just used a little bit of leftover from other fat quarters. Some patterns, when you use fat quarters, you get like half of it left over, and other patterns you get like a little strip. So I think this one, that was one of those kind of patterns. I think I did a pretty decent job. It looks incredible. I went with straight line quilting, and initially I was just gonna like mark them all out. I ended up marking one, getting really frustrated. This was last week Sunday. I quilted that line, and then I just roughly estimated for the next one. And that works. If I had continued to do that, I would have had quite a wonky looking quilt. So I tried to course correct when I got to the next line of blocks. Same thing with up here. This one's super wonky. I have a couple that really drifted. I definitely could see myself doing this pattern again, because now I know how important it is to be precise with your cuts. My navy blue border, I had a random blue fat quarter. I thought it looked better with a border. I put a poll on my Instagram. I think there was one person who said no. And the rest of my friends who happened to follow my Instagram were like, do a border! It also got voted on in my group chat beforehand, so you have no chance. So I didn't have enough from the other fat quarter that was in that, I think it's a Little Forester Friends bundle or something, to do all of the binding. I bought a bunch of fabric around my birthday this year from the stacked holiday anniversary sale. I was gonna get it because I did a mystery blue fat quarter bundle. It was like $13. You can't go wrong. I think I got like 10 or 12 fat quarters, or maybe it was 8. But that's a steal. So then I just used that because I figured this one probably goes the best with it, and it does. And for the first time in like forever, I hand stitched the binding on the back. I started a really bad habit of using my sewing machine to stitch it back. And it's a bad habit because, well, I don't think it looks that good, but it's faster than if I hand bind it. Well, let me tell you, it probably took me about 6 hours to hand bind it. And I'm really quite okay with that. I started working on this quilt when I was still hand quilting my king quilts, I think. I'm gonna point out my errors to you. There's an owl and an owl fabric in the same block. That's not supposed to happen. You're supposed to have one of each fabric in every block. There is also a squirrel and a squirrel fabric in that block. So I actually had to get out a piece of paper and do not like a math equation, but I had to pencil it out to figure out how each block was going to work. My suggestion to you is to do that before you sew any of them together. With these long pieces, see, the long pieces on the side, I like sewed 2 random ones together, and then I did the same with that. And I was like, okay, once I get there, I'll be able to figure out these. You gotta like pre-plan this stuff, okay? I'm just saying. I also didn't bury some of my threads on the back. I'm hoping I can monetize my channel at some point so I can maybe quit my job. You see this like Joker-esque grin on my face? That's not gonna happen. I'm probably gonna go full-time by September. Obviously I didn't do a video in May about my quilt project that I finished in June. And I was like, I need to come up with something, and even this past week that I've been on vacation, I'll get to that. But I was like, I have to do a video this week now that I'm on vacation. I finished this quilt. I'm starting a new quilt. Like I should, do all these things. And that did not happen. It's Sunday, but who knows when this video is going to go up, hopefully soon. My quilt videos always get so much more views than any of my other videos. I did not expect my king-size quilt video to blow up like it did. Even within the first couple hours, I already had probably 100 views, which is pretty radical, but I think I have 45 subscribers now, so that's, I mean business. Not gonna let that go to my head. I got my very first oil change for my car that I bought last year, because apparently I don't drive it enough to get it. It said I was supposed to get it in March. I obviously hadn't hit the kilometers by then. And I'm due for my next one in October. We'll see about that. I also told my parents, I was like, it was $70 for me to get my oil change because I have a RAV. That's the same price as my parents' pickup truck. And my mom was like, oh, I thought since it was like not that truck, you should pay about what they pay for the Chrysler. I guess it's just like synthetic versus natural oil. My mom had to call them to make the appointment for me because I was just putting it off. And I would have continued to put it off, even though I really wanted to do it. I just couldn't pick up the phone and be like, yeah, tomorrow at 8:30 works. See you then. I was sitting in the little waiting room. It was like a 15-minute oil change. I don't know why I thought it was going to take 40 minutes. When I got my snow tires last year, it took forever, but I didn't go to them. I went to the tire place. And the dude was like, so you want to put this under your dad's name? And I was like, oh shit, no, I don't want to do that. I didn't take the opportunity to see humor in that moment. No, put it under me. And then I went home and I told my parents, they thought it was really funny. They were like, no, you should have put it under Dad's name, because then my parents would get the bill for it and they'd be like, huh? We didn't get an oil change? That would have been funny. Nah, I put it under my aunt and uncle. Yeah, so all I did on my vacation week is I went and I got an oil change. If I had dental benefits, I would have gotten my teeth checked out this week, but since I don't, I didn't. There we go. That's a little bit better. I hope. I don't think so. I hope you enjoyed. I started working on a new quilt this week. Hope you enjoy it even more. I've also realized at some point I'm gonna run out of room for quilts, and I really would love to give this quilt away to somebody I know, except for the fact that I actually really like it, so that's gonna be a problem. Same thing with the next quilt. I have to start making quilts that I'm okay with passing on to people. What am I gonna do with 5,000 quilts? I've only been doing this for a little over 2 years now, and the first 2 quilts I made, one was auctioned off for charity for a handsome $145, and the other one was a wedding gift for my cousin. And I also gave one to my best friend for her son's first birthday, and I never took any pictures of that one. But I've learned a lot since those first 3 quilts. So much so that I'm like, I'm sorry that you guys had to have them, because this is definitely my better work. Check out these really cool videos that'll be on the screen. I have a king-size quilt that I hand quilted, and I discussed that. I do a lot of talking in my videos, so if you don't like that, this is not for you. I might do a Nova Star quilt this upcoming summer, but we will see how my current project is going. Good luck finding the pattern for this one, because I would love to share it, but there's a lot of human contact involved. I would have to email the person and be like, yo, can I share your quilt pattern on my YouTube? And they'd be like, you have a YouTube? And then, my whole secret identity's gone, and I'd have to go to college or something, A bientôt? Or whatever that means. I don't speak French.